Hi. We're going to do this again. My name's Dr. Robinson.
And I'm Dr. Christina Bosch.
And we are...
The Sex Docs.
We're the Sex Docs, euphemistically known. So we were just having a little bit of a technical difficulty there. All this technology is wonderful, and it also is the bane of our existence to some degree. So we're back live officially. So I guess let's run through it all again. Just want to make sure that we're going through all of these things.
I'm not quite sure where we lost you.
Yeah, so let's just do it again.
Okay, sounds good.
So we were not here live last week, last Tuesday at 12:30, like we always are, because it was Dr. Bosch's birthday.
Yes.
Happy
birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you. And so we were going to do that. We were in the middle of a photo shoot. We did that, and then I decided at that point, instead of doing Facebook Live, to actually go and take Christina for her birthday to Demi Cup over at DC Ranch Marketplace. So really want to encourage everyone to go over there, men, women, whatever. I mean, obviously it's for women, but guys, it's a kind of a really cool place for,
go buy
that
your
loved
one something pretty.
It was really, really nice stuff. I was saying before, they had a great man chair, so you don't have to worry. You can get out of the way. And but I was able to kind of check things out. And Linda over there is the owner. She's fantastic. So really would encourage everyone to go over, right?
Definitely. I mean, it was a great experience, especially I think for women. We don't tend to fit in those exact sizes that perhaps Victoria's Secrets or other underwear departments may offer. So if you feel like you maybe are not fitting into the box, then go to the Demi Cup for great customer service and a beautiful quality of product. Yeah. Plus the fitting is where really the difference is. So
and you got a great bathing suit as well.
I did, yes, beautiful bathing suit.
Okay, right. So that was that.
Business.
What else? Always let everybody know, turn on your notifications so you know that we are officially live every Tuesday at 12:30 Arizona time. And of course, share the video. We always say share the video. Let other people know what the Sex Docs have to say and what they can help you with. So what is the topic for today? What we decided to do was, instead of kind of going into a lot of detail about thyroid, which by the way we are still doing that series for thyroid, I decided to give Dr. Bosch an interview. So getting to know her a little bit more. She loves this kind of stuff. So
I love to be quizzed.
Yes, it is definitely a quiz. Oh, and here's another thing too. Yeah, and we were saying this before. We just got done with a segment on Channel 15, Sonora Living, just earlier this morning. It was with Terry Olette, and Sonora Living was fantastic.
Great. Had
a great spot with her and answered some questions about the Hormone Zone and what we do here. So check that out.
We'll have that link available, of course.
For sure, and you can probably check it out now too. If you
want. It was a lot of fun, and we'll be with Sonora Living, I think, about every other month, so we'll be sure to announce those as well.
Yeah. Okay, so let me see. So here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
So this is going to be an interview, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a question, but the way you answer is important, because I just want you to answer really kind of quickly and how you feel right off the cuff with either one word or maybe one line.
Yikes.
So think about it before you say. You can't sort of like pontificate about it and squeeze the answer out. You got to like just let the answer out.
That's my favorite. Descriptive writing is my favorite.
Okay, so this is what it'll be very descriptive, hopefully.
Except concise.
But yes, concise. To the point.
And the purpose of doing this interview is because we get to learn a little bit more about me. So fun.
I think that's great. And I think that's, it's part of what we do here at the Hormone Zone, and what our passion is with our patients is to have some level of connection. And maybe this helps a little bit more with that process.
I would agree. I think it's a wonderful idea. All right, hit me.
All right, here we go. How do you know when you're happy?
Oh. He said answer quickly. Crap. Okay, how do I know when I'm happy? Well, I think that's kind of my baseline. I default to happiness, so I think I would have to turn the question around and say, I know when I'm a little less happy because the small details of my day-to-day don't stand out with the same brightness. So I'm normally a person that would drive and say, my God, what a beautiful day. Look at the sky. Babe, you look so cute. And on days when I'm feeling a little bit gloomier, then perhaps those steps are not as, those details are not as clear.
That was a wonderful answer, and it was so concise.
Hey.
All right.
So go.
It was beautiful.
All right.
Let's
go. Hit me. Go. Do it.
All right.
New York Minute. Come on.
Why did you choose naturopathic medicine? All the medicine.
Food. That's my answer.
Food?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the one that was most, it seemed to me philosophically to be most grounded in my guiding principles for life. At the core of that is enjoying food.
There we go. Yeah, it was a semicolon, and then so that was still one line. So that was good.
Keep going.
Okay,
I love you.
All right. What else do we have here? So fill in this sentence with one word. This is a one-word response. When your patients respond to your treatment and care, they feel
optimistic.
That was good. That's a good one. If a patient has lost all hope about their health and their condition, what would you say in one sentence? Lost all hope.
I would say that the body is very wise and that there's always an answer.
Good. Healing's always an option.
Healing is always an option.
Ocean or mountains?
Ocean.
Classic elegance or modern chic?
Classic elegance.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate. The darker the better.
Yeah, I agree. So, fill in this line. For me, really good food means...
Foreplay. If I had to pick one word.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll take that word. That was good for me. So, where was the best meal you ever had?
Oh.
If you had to pick, and I know that's hard for you.
No.
I know that's hard for you.
No.
You got to try. You have to try. The best meal you ever had. With all due respect to all the other places, I know you want to say, just say one.
I will say Binkley's. Christmas Eve, 2011. The night we got engaged.
Yes.
The food was amazing.
It was fantastic.
Amazing.
And there is a new Binkley's now that is down on...
I don't remember, but in Phoenix,
Yeah,
and it
used to be
is
in Cape Creek.
extraordinary.
Yes.
I mean, it really is on par with the high-end restaurants of all of the major cities in the country,
Yes.
and even internationally. And I know.
We had a great time the other night. We
We
went there.
did. It was
your
fun
parents.
with my parents, yeah.
Okay. What makes you sad?
The passing of time. It makes me melancholic. I don't do great with change, as I think many of you know. I don't do well with routine either, though. So that wasn't a question, but there's a little insight.
That's true insight, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. What makes you hopeful?
Kids, babies, the innate, I think, joy
Yeah.
of the youngins.
What makes you feel sexy?
My husband.
Duh.
And food. My husband, for sure.
Also a very good answer. You're getting points here today. What makes you feel passionate about life?
I think it's the small details. I really do. I think it's the everyday, the thirst to squeeze the most out of my everyday. Even the days that are more challenging, I'm passionate about making the next one better. Or I'm passionate about, at the end of the day, counting my blessings and for me, thanking God and my loved ones for all the stuff that went right in that day. I would say that's the core of my passion.
That was good, and that was a very concise answer, truly. It was. Yeah.
Thanks.
What do you love most about your children?
Oh, goodness. Their profound, obnoxious sense of independence. Truly, it makes mothering very difficult, and at the same time, it fills me with this incredible pride at how self-reliant and brave they are. And I marvel at that. I marvel at the fact that their size doesn't in any way interfere with their sense of knowing. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, their sense of belief and
Yeah.
trust. What are your top 3 traits?
I'm funny.
Yes, I knew she was going to say that.
I'm not sure if these are in order, but this is what I would say. I would say that I'm funny. I would say number 2 that I'm very compassionate, And I would say number 3, that because I value having fun, that I believe that I can put a fun twist on even the most mundane seeming activities.
Like washing the dishes.
Like washing dishes.
What are your worst 3 traits?
My inability to find any. No. I'm incredibly stubborn.
That seems to be a positive, though, in a lot
It
of
can
ways.
be.
Yeah.
I have a lot of trust in myself, but I'm stubborn. I have resistance to change. I think that can definitely be a downside. I don't know that this is a worst trait, but it feels like it can be, is I miss my loved ones and my family when I'm not with them. So that part's, for me, it feels like an impediment sometimes. You know, you'll be 99% full with what you're experiencing, and then if you're not surrounded by every single person that you love, then for me there's always that 1%. I think sometimes that maybe holds me back from experiencing things completely.
Maybe that's what makes you hold on to others around you and makes you so loved.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's part of it.
What do you love most about your husband?
I think the thing that I love the most about my husband is that those 3 worst traits that I would define as my worst traits are, first of all, not found in him. He is profoundly brave and daring and pushes boundaries at all costs. Has an incredible sense of independence that I admire and respect, and finds my stubbornness as an anchor, which is a nice twist on an otherwise seemingly negative trait. So I think what I love the most about my husband is how perfectly well you balance me. And I think you're really cute. So that helps.
That was a good answer. Also, very concise. I thought that was incredibly concise.
Yes.
As you were talking about that, and it just felt perfect to me.
Perfect to you.
What does the hormone zone mean to you?
The hormone zone is almost a manifestation of a philosophy. So it's like a tangible version of something that you and I feel in our hearts, and that we try to create as a real option for life.
We were just talking about that this morning.
We were talking about that this morning. Yeah, essentially the hormone zone for me is a tool to help myself and those around us, patients, people in the audience, our loved ones, sometimes they're one and the same, often they are, really seek a quality of life that makes every day just so incredibly fulfilling, so that you have an optimal version of yourself, so that if you believe in an end of time for yourself, that you will look back and say, man, I lived a really good life.
Right. Job well done.
You know? So that's what the hormone zone is to me.
Yeah. I think it's a lifestyle that we keep talking about, that we're wanting to offer to everyone, about what is that we have found to be effective for ourselves and effective for countless patients over the years, and bringing that all together and sharing that idea with everyone.
Yeah.
I think it's a privilege, it's an honor to be able to do that.
And John had asked me about what happens when a patient feels hopeless, or those kinds of questions. I think that's part of it, is that it doesn't matter where you are in your path, your health journey. It's really about understanding that there's always options to do it better, or to overcome, or to maximize, or I always say, just don't settle. The minute you think you're feeling great, then stop and ask yourself, now what else can I do?
We always say that life is a never-ending wanting of more.
Living is an eternal wanting more, which that's from a book by John Fowles called The Magus that I read when I was in high school, and as one of my dear friends has critiqued, my interpretation apparently is not the correct literary interpretation, but what it meant for me was that there's a huge difference between never being satisfied and always wanting more. I think it's, how do we feel happy and joyful within the given day and whatever is given to us, while at the same time making more of it? I think there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
And that obviously applies to health and the way you live your life.
It's a real honoring of the moment, I think. That's beautiful. I've heard you say that before, but that's special. What does so we got the hormones, and what does the sex docs mean to you? This whole thing, this game that we're playing here, that's not so much of a game.
No.
The sex docs.
It's funny, the sex docs, careful what you ask the universe for to sound cliche, but it's true. The sex docs is really a realization of a dream of mine, a vision of mine. I think that I was shocked to find out the more and more I worked with patients and with my friends, how little good quality physical intimacy people have on a day-to-day, which is shocking because we do live in a society that has almost this overt hypersexualization, but in the process of dumbing that down, we've dumbed it down. So the sex docs for us is really just a fun, hopefully disarming way to help invite all of those out there to understand that not only is good sex, like really, really good sex, and I mean making love or just having a tryst, but not only is that a part of what helps you feel better about yourself, but it is definitely a tool for helping, I think, the world around us feel better about itself, because through that physical intimacy, we're genuinely creating positive energy that is contagious. And I think that that's ultimately, I can get a little kind of cheesy about it, but that's ultimately what's at the core of the sex talks is have fun, look good, feel sexy, have energy, and get out there and get some. And you'll see how that positivity affects the rest of your life as well.
Yeah. Or get some, or get a lot.
Or get a lot.
Yeah.
And give a lot.
Sure.
Which is important too.
Well, you get what you give.
Yeah.
So.
Did I pass?
Almost. What does the artisans of sex mean to you? And I think you probably started answering that question. I think.
Well, I'll take the science of it. The artisans of sex, the science is definitely literally the understanding that it's an incredible bag of chemistry, the human body. I mean, it's beautiful, it's brilliant, it's sophisticated. And for that to continue to be a source of energy, you have to have procreation, or at least creation.
Or co-creation.
Or co-creation.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked a little bit about how sexual energy isn't just about making more little babies, although I think that's a really important part of it. It's also about just making more energy and more creation and contributing and leaving an imprint in this world that says, yeah, I was here and I made a difference.
Yeah, I made it a little better.
And I would say that that's the science of it, because that has to do with the biochemistry and physiology of what we do as physicians.
Mm-hmm.
The art of it is, well, pretty much what I've already touched on, which is that there is beauty in the details, and there's sex in that beauty, and there's sexual energy, and what a wonderful way to feel alive and desired and giving and generous than to be able to recognize that with purpose, having clarity of your purpose, every day is truly not only a gift, again, I know it sounds cheesy, but it's true, but also an opportunity to just get more orgasm. And I don't just mean that sexually.
Yeah, but spiritual orgasm.
Spiritual orgasm, what you eat, when you get a personal best on a squat. I mean, these are endorphins. These are things that make you feel good. And goodness, I think we could all benefit from a significant dose of well-being and wellness and good feelings on a day-to-day basis.
I think that orgasm continues to create that spark towards, I don't know, maybe waking up God and connecting with that idea about that to some degree. And that can happen in all different kinds of ways in your life, physically, spiritually, otherwise.
Right. I mean, God here definitely can be seen as in quotes. Whatever it is, whatever that bigger calling or that bigger energy or that power above, I think for John and I, that notion of spirituality gets very intertwined with our patients, because we do believe in the importance of the mental, emotional, and spiritual health. But that can be anything for anyone. So the idea is to find what is that common thread, and that's something that we do very well because we have such a broad. We have the benefit of working with so many broad beliefs.
Amazing
just
people.
incredible people. So that's kind of a tangent, but there it is.
I think you passed. I think that was wonderful. Truly.
I shoot for A+.
A++.
Thank you.
Now it's my turn. And I'm going to interview myself.
Uh-oh.
So,
oh, goodness.
what do I love the most about my wife? Now, I have the advantage of having everything sort of a little bit written down here.
So you'll be concise?
Yeah, I'll be very concise to the point. I doubt that. I'm never concise.
No,
That's the irony. I'm
both.
never concise, and I ask you to be concise. So, what do I love most about my wife? You're hilarious. It is definitely in your top 3.
I make myself laugh. All right, go.
Your unwavering loyalty, your strength, your courage, but your loyalty to your family, to your friends, and certainly to me is at the top of my list. That you're there for me no matter what, and you are my biggest fan, and I'm your biggest fan. When did I know that I was in love with Christina?
Oish.
And so I've always said this is like forever. I don't know, before time began. You know, sort of sitting on some edge of existence, sitting there and just kind of knowing at that point that I was in love with you before I even knew myself. When is Christina at her best? I think maybe what we saw was she was at her best today. And you got a glimpse of her honesty and her realness, and it just started kind of flowing out of her. So I thought that was kind of pretty cool. Hopefully everybody saw that. I certainly did. So you're at your best today when you were just being honest about your inner truth. It's just so beautiful. So I appreciate that for sure. So that was special for me. I think I'm benefiting more on this birthday thing than maybe you are. And so what's the grand lesson that I have learned from this woman, this mother, this lover, this partner, and my friend? And I think it's that my truth, my purpose with a capital P, something we talk quite a bit about here at the Hormone Zone, about helping people, I'd say even particularly men, finding their true purpose, their providence, their sense of self.
Yeah.
For me, that sense of self and purpose has been my connection to you. And if I'm Johnny Cash, you are my June Carter. And you've helped me in so many ways in my life, and I appreciate that. And I love you, and happy birthday.
Thank you very much.
So I think, we went a little long today, I guess, with all the technical difficulties and everything else. So thank you for listening to that, and again, happy birthday to Dr. Bosch.
Thank you for indulging.
Yes. Next week we will talk about thyroid. Next week I want to get a little bit specific. I think we both want to get specific. Mm-hmm. How do you know you have a thyroid condition? And we've talked about that before, but I think we want to put a couple of things up on the board and really get into a little bit of the specifics behind what that means, and really get into some education on the whole thing. And remind everyone that our book Thyroid Zone will be coming out next month. We are so close to it. It's just we're tying up the last bits and ends on all of that. So look for Thyroid Zone. But we'll be talking about thyroid here next week. And here's definitely what we know for sure.
Hormones are sexy.
We've definitely learned that today with Dr. Bosch, and with Christina, with my wife, and I guess we definitely know that life itself, all of this is sexy.
Yeah.
You're sexy. Thanks for everything that everybody does with the Hormone Zone, and all the help that we get with that. And we will see everybody next week, Tuesday, 12:30. Thanks. Bye.
Have a great week.
Bye.